Great day for America today, everybody. I'll tell you why. I'm very excited. Martha Stewart's Apprentice show was cancelled today. Now listen, don't get me wrong, I believe an ex-con should get a second chance at life, I do. But not in prime time. Not in prime time. It's a cancelled thing. Now, I have a lot in common with Martha Stewart. I have been on a cancelled show, and I also have been to jail. Yep, I have been to jail. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. There was a problem with Martha's show. People thought that Martha wasn't being harsh enough. She wasn't being harsh enough. But maybe the Big House mellowed her out, though. Yeah? Big House mellowed Big Martha. It broke her. It broke her. It broke her like Cool Hand Luke. It's like Cool Hand Martha. It's gone now. I guess it's hard to be a bitch when you've been someone else's bitch. It's hard then. It's hard then. No, all right, I've been to jail. I'll talk about it. I have been to jail. CBS 12:30 is my probation. This is what I never did jail time in America, but I went to jail over in Scotland. I was in jail there for a weekend. I went in on Saturday night, out on Monday. It was at Stewart Street Jail in Glasgow in Scotland. Stewart Street Jail, Martha Stewart. Coincidence? Yes, coincidence. Means nothing. Anyway, it was kind of a youthful indiscretion. I'll tell you what happened. It was the night, I'm sure you all remember, it was the night that the Pope was visiting Glasgow. Yes, I'm sure, I thought you'd remember that. The Pope was visiting Glasgow, and so everybody thought that the police would be otherwise occupied. They'd be guarding the Pope. So I was drunk with a buddy of mine, and we were walking down the street, and this was the time, video recorders were new at the time, it was 1982, and we were drunk, and we took a video recorder out of the back seat of a car. But the door was open. The door of the car was open. Right after we jimmied it, it was completely open. We weren't planning on stealing it. We just, and there it was. And we were walking down the street minding our own business. Because this thing was big. This was the early days of, it was a Betamax. All you could get on Betamax tapes was Jackie Chan movies, by the way. That's all you could get. But it was a giant Betamax. It was about the size of a refrigerator coming down the street. But it was begging for us to steal it. It was entrapment, I think. Anyway, it took two of us to lift it. We're walking down the street. It was stupid, really, stealing a VCR, because I didn't even have a TV at that time. There was a policeman standing right behind us, walking. We were going down the street with the thing, and he just, he put his hand on my shoulder. And I said, "Why aren't you guarding the Pope?" I said. Anyway, he wasn't interested in talking about that. I immediately denied all knowledge of what I was doing. The policeman said, "This is a fair cop." And what he means by that in Britain, that means that I've caught you red-handed, you're guilty, so just fess up. I said, "No, this is not what it looks like." I said, I'd had a couple of drinks, I fell, I accidentally leaned on the car door handle, pulled it open, fell inside, got my balance by getting the video recorder, and walked out. I was thinking on my feet, kind of like what I'm doing right now, this very second. Anyway, it was Saturday night, so we get taken to jail. And we were lucky to be in jail with our peers. It was just other harmless drunks. Thursday night's big murderer night in Glasgow. Saturday, just drunks. So it was me, my buddy Colin, and a mysterious third man. So he asked me, he said, "What are you in for?" I said, "I'm trying to take a VCR out of a car." He said, I said, "You?" He said, "I illegally parked my car with a stolen VCR in the back of it." And so I was okay. Anyway, I was pretty drunk, but it took 10 minutes to sober up the minute I was in the cell. And then 48 hours they kept us in jail there. They take away your belt and shoelaces in jail. And if you're not wearing a belt, they go to your house and get one out of the closet. They don't care. They're careful. And the sleeping arrangements, it's three guys on a shelf with one plastic mattress. It's kind of like a budget inn. There's just like three of us there. And the toilet is right in the middle of the room. And no, there was no way I was doing it in front of them. I held it in all weekend. I'm still kind of damaged, I think, somehow. My trouser equipment's never been the same since. Anyway, the first thing that occurs to you, though, when you get thrown in a jail cell, I don't know if you've ever been in one, looking at the studio audience, yes, of course you have, but... Anyway, when they put you in a jail cell, the first thing, I tried to be kind of tough. You think, how am I going to get out of here? How am I getting out of here? You know. And there's bars on the windows, so the only way is through the toilet. You know, but I think the same thing now when I go to the dentist. You know, jail changed me. I think, how am I going to get out of here? I'll have to kill the guy in the white coat and the drill. Anyway, the jail cell, it's very loud in jail. I don't know if you've been in jail. It's very loud, all clanking and shouting and people. It's very loud and it smells of urine. It's exactly like my first apartment in New York. Exactly. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad. They gave us spam rolls, which was better than what I was eating at home. Trust me. Remember, this is Scotland I'm talking about. And I marked, I was in the jail. I marked off the days in the cell. 1, a half, and then out of there. But I came out pumped and changed, pumped and angry. I came out, I'd been working out in the cell. I didn't make a shiv, but I made a nice ashtray out of coral. Lovely. They let us out too early. We were only halfway through digging our tunnel, which would never have worked because we were on the 4th floor. We would have just... Anyway, I had to go to court afterwards. I get taken to court. Now, I don't know much about the judicial system in America. I once interviewed Amy Brenneman here from Judge and Amy. That's about it, really. Anyway, but in Scotland, that's all I know about the court system here, and that's all I want to know. But the main difference, I think, between the Scottish court system and the American court system is the wigs, because they wear wigs over there. So, and this was the 1980s, so I wore a nice flock of seagulls wig. And then I ran so far away. But when you're in court in Scotland, I don't know if it's the same here, and I don't want to know. But when you're in court in Scotland, they sit you in the public gallery, and you wait with everyone to get called out. And as I'm sitting there, I recognise a guy I was at school with, and I'm like, hey, and he's like, he's ignoring me, and I'm like, hey. And he's like that, and then they called his name, and they called his name in the offence. They said, Gordon, no. Homosexual Offences Act, 1975. And they called him up. So I pretended I wasn't talking to him. But I don't know what the homosexual offence was. What's a homosexual offence? I think he was wearing stripes with plaid or something. Anyway, I go up in front of the judge and I say to the judge, look, I'm not a thief, Judge, I'm a drunk. And he said, you know what, you are. And he let me go. He said, you know what, I think you're probably not really a thief. You're a drunk. Get out. Don't do it again. And it changed me, though. It stopped my life of crime. And I promised that judge I would make something myself, but I ended up in show business. So, never mind. But I steal material, so that's all right. It was if I had any material, I'd steal it. What I'm saying is, Mike, it was a youthful indiscretion, this crime. It was a mistake. If it had happened in Los Angeles, I'd have been picking up trash on the side of the freeway, right across from where I now sell oranges. Immigrant, 2 jobs. Or I'd get community service in Hollywood, which is quite tough, actually. That's guest starring on Joey. That's a tough job. Don't make me do Joey, Judge. I can't do it. Give me the time. Or you get house arrest. Martha got house arrest, didn't she, for a while? That doesn't sound that bad. I did 6 hard months in my den. With nothing but me, a plasma screen, and some snacks. It's tough there, man. I respect the law now. I don't get nervous when I see cops anymore. I'm a middle-aged dad. They're not looking for me. But I tell you, I've got some buddies who were in the life for a while. And a guy of mine told me... a guy of mine. Yes, prison changed me. A guy of mine. A guy I know. A guy I know. He said, he was in the life, he said, you know when your life is out of control when you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you hear the door bursting open and boots clumping up the stairs and you hear the guns, the rifles going in and you think, oh my God, I hope it's the cops. Then you know your life is out of control. That's when it's tough. Now, the only time I've been to prison in this country is when I went to Alcatraz. I went to Alcatraz, San Francisco, 2 hours on that tour. It was like years in jail. Get me out of here, right after you've been to the gift shop, sir. Thankfully, Sean Connery was there. I'll get you off the rock. Come on. By the way, don't sit on that sofa there. That's right, I said, sit on the sofa. Even with my strange speech impediment. Because it's CBS, I have to say, sit on the sofa.